we're not having Craig. It's usually like my mental marker for when we start. But here we are. So, hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm still the other guy, Corwin Heller.
And if you're listening to this over the whatever format you typically listen to it, it is mildly different. We've switched from recording over Discord to recording over Zoom, which means that there's now a visual component to the show. It has taken us 2 years and over 200 episodes to get to the point where we figured we might as well actually start doing this on video and look at each other in the face like most people do. But better late than never, I guess. Here we are. We're finally doing it. So if you ever feel like if you ever wondered what it looks like while we actually record this shit, now you can find out.
Hey.
And I'm treating this as an excuse for myself personally to go through all my hats. So now that it's visual, I'm going to start cycling through all my hats. So for the first episode, we got the black and gold New York Knicks hat. Boom. That's hat number one. I guess hat number two, because I wore my Negro League baseball, New York Cubans hat when we were talking with Keith about the Negro Leagues. But there we go.
I'm not wearing a hat.
Not yet. It'll come. Give it time. All right. So anyway, man, we are still trying to catch up because it's been a fucking crazy busy couple weeks in terms of what we've been up to with this show, having guests on, and what's been going on in the world of sports. So we're still trying to catch up a little bit. To that effect, we figured we would talk about our bold predictions, NFL awards and honors, which fit into bold predictions, and NFL Hall of Fame, all of which got announced like a week or so ago. So none of this is new, but we have been busy, so it's taken us some time. But anyway, Corwin, you ready to get started?
I am. This is so new and different. I gotta, make active reminders like, hey, don't be throwing my laptop around. Don't be picking my nose and eating it. Keep my dick in my pants. Just all stuff that normally is just, willy-nilly. Let's just see how it goes. And got to keep it all under control.
Yeah, keep your fingers where we can see them, buddy. There they are. All 8 of them. All right, so let's start with the bold predictions. Corwin, do you want to start or do you want me to here?
I can start.
All right, do you want to start with the award section or the prediction section?
I want to start with predictions.
All right, cool. Let it rip.
All right, my first prediction, dude, fuck NFLnetwork.com for just putting in. You know what? You got to start. I got to deal with muting all of these website pop-ups that just all started at once. I'm just.
So you know what's crazy is my first prediction involves Tom Brady, and it's wrong. So I went to Pro Football Reference and I typed in Tom, and the first 2 names that came up were Tom Brady and LaDainian Tomlinson, and I was like, oh shit, love LaDainian Tomlinson, and Tom Brady's career, as it says on Pro Football Reference, has gone from 2000 to 2020 because they count the first year of the season since it overlaps. And LaDainian Tomlinson, 2001 to when do you think LaDainian Tomlinson retired?
2013?
2011.
Ooh, that was my first guess, and then I was like, nah, I think he stuck around 2 years with like the Jets and just was sad. And
it's just wild to me though that like LaDainian Tomlinson, who has been out of the league for a while and is in LaDainian Tomlinson had an NFL Hall of Fame career, retired, had to wait the requisite 5 years, and then made the Hall of Fame, and it's been like 3 years since that, and Tom Brady's still playing. God, I hate it. I hate it so much. So my first prediction was, I know. Yeah. My first prediction was Tom Brady finally starts to show his age, and no. Nope. He just isn't. As compared to last year, he had more completions on fewer attempts, a higher completion percent. 600 more yards than he had last year, 14 more touchdowns. His touchdown percent was 3 entire points higher. 4 more interceptions, but with how much other success he had, that doesn't even fucking matter. The 12 interceptions, which is his highest point since 2011. But again, who gives a fuck? Yards per attempt, 7.6. That's up. Yards, air yards per attempt, right? Adjusted yards. Fuck me. Adjusted yards per attempt up from last year. Yards per completion up from last year. Yards per game up from last year. Quarterback rating is fucking 14 points higher from last year. QBR is 17 points higher than last year. He took fewer sacks for fewer sack yards. I mean, every single metric that you could possibly ask for, he did better in this year. And it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, and I hate it. And I hate it because I can't argue against it. It sucks. I'm not enjoying it. End of rant. So no, my first prediction is a miss.
That's fair. My first prediction: 3 rookie wide receivers. I almost said Wookie, and 1 running back. Chewbacca fucking made the Pro Bowl this year, guys. Who would have thought? 3 rookie wide receivers. I can't avoid it now. 3 rookie wide receivers and 1 running back make the Pro Bowl. This was basically on the back of the wide receivers coming in the first round. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, and CeeDee Lamb were all going to situations where they would either be on high-functioning offenses like the Cowboys, or coming into a position where they would be getting a large quantity of targets, being given a large share of, the percentage of the offense, guys like Jerry Jeudy in Denver, Henry Ruggs in Vegas, and would be able to perform. And there's always a rookie running back, that goes into a situation just destined for high touches, high octane offense. Guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a perfect example this year. If they let him be the workhorse, it didn't really work out. So only Justin Jefferson, the second round wide receiver, or no, he was the first round, but the 4th first round receiver, made the Pro Bowl. It sucks because since they didn't physically hold the Pro Bowl this year, there wasn't that huge wave of guys saying no and forcing alternates to come in, which is usually how it goes, and was definitely a part of the thought process when I was putting this together. Didn't happen. Only 1. It's okay. It's a failure, though.
I'm with it. My next one is hilarious. Because it came it couldn't have been less accurate. And that is that the Jets win the AFC East. The Jets finished with the 2nd worst record in all of football. Literally could not be. The Jets were a mere 11 wins back.
The craziest thing is that they were closer to finishing without a single win than they were finishing in 3rd place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were closer to finishing without a single win than they were getting 5 wins. Oh, man. Yeah. So not even worth spending any real time on it. The Jets are awful. What's that face?
I'm just thinking about the Jets.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's brutal, but
hey, at least you got the top pick and you guys will get Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, yeah. Or Urban Meyer does some more fucked up shit and ends up fumbling the bag and the Jets get Trevor Lawrence anyway. Who the fuck knows?
I do love how people are just coming to terms with how Urban Meyer fucking sucks. Join the club, guys. We all know it.
Cancer doesn't make you a good dude.
All right. You up on the next one? No, I'm up on the next one. That's the whole point. Pat Mahomes breaks Peyton Manning's NFL record for touchdowns in a single season with 55. That didn't happen. Pat Mahomes threw 38 touchdowns in 16 games this year. If you want to count the playoffs, he broke it. But he
Not how
didn't.
it works.
That's not how that works. So didn't quite have that record-setting year. Still had a hell of a good season though. Went to the Super Bowl, as we all know.
Wait, if
Went
you
to the Pro
count
Bowl.
playoffs, he didn't break it. He had 4 passing touchdowns in the playoffs.
I meant all playoffs.
Oh, that's silly. Okay.
And not at all because I don't know how to count. Moving on. What's your third one, Josh?
That's okay. My third one actually did come true. Woo! That's not the Giants, the Niners, wrong San Francisco team. The Niners failed to make the playoffs. This was a somewhat bold prediction at the time because they were coming off of a Super Bowl appearance in which they lost to the Chiefs, and it ended up coming like very true. In that, I would have assumed. I haven't listened to it back, but I would have guessed my rationale was that the NFC West was very competitive, and so they might have a good season but just not make it. Whereas what ended up happening is they went 6-10 and finished fourth in the division, didn't even have a chance. So, I mean, full points for Josh. I mean, whew,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Always.
But not the way I thought it was going to happen.
So
When in doubt, give
decide
yourself
these
the points.
factors.
Yeah. So yeah, that one's a win. That one I got. Niners did not make the playoffs.
Excellent. Next up for me, Hayden Hurst finishes the year as tight end 4, and Rob Gronkowski finishes outside of the top 10. So I have some fantasy points here. I don't know if this is the standard scoring, but it's what I'm going with because it's what I have in front of me. I will say Rob Gronkowski finished outside of the top 10, if I can count, which I've failed twice now. 6, 9, 12, 13. He finished tight end 13. So I got that. Hayden Hurst finished at number 10. Or number 9, excuse me. So I also got this one wrong. I guess technically we give ourselves half credit, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, half a point for Corwin. You go, Corwin. You're the fucking.
I'm about to give myself a half a point, so yeah, I fully endorse it. So my next one, I'm giving myself. Oh, maybe I don't get any points for this at all. Actually, I really can't twist it. Is that Daniel Jones carries the Giants to the playoffs? Now, the Giants did not make the playoffs, but came super close because that division is fucking garbage. Like, and it's not a technicality. It's because it's not the same as like the Giants win fucking 10-6, but the Washington team win 11-5. Nope. Well, Giants went 6-10. Washington 7-9. Neither team was good. Giants were bad. And the only thing making the Giants good, I don't think, was Daniel Jones. Or the Daniel Jones wasn't the thing that kept the Giants in the running, I guess I should say. He didn't have a terrible year, but throwing for under 3,000 yards and a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio is pretty bad. 11 touchdown passes on 10 interceptions is yeesh. So no. In fact, if anything, with how close the Giants were to making the playoffs, they might have missed out because of Daniel Jones. So
that was kind of the argument I was going to make when you first brought it up. Like, man, I don't know if you could ever argue he made it or they almost made the playoffs because of what he was doing.
No, I was trying to give myself a little bit of credit on the fact that they came close, but yeah. So no part of this was right. No points for Josh. You're up.
Understood. Number 4 for me, Ben Roethlisberger is the best passer in the AFC North, and the Steelers win the division. Well, the Steelers won the division. Ben Roethlisberger was not the best passer in the AFC North, though, and as much as it pains me to say it, it was Baker Mayfield. Man, that hurts. Fuck.
He had a good year.
But I get another half point because that's the way we roll.
That's the way the news goes.
It's the way the cookie crumbles.
This one I also got very wrong. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars finish higher in the standings than Houston. Jacksonville Jaguars finished higher in the standings than nobody. They had the worst record in the NFL. Now, if we count the standings as the draft order, then yeah, this one's true. That is not what I wrote. So, no points.
That's really funny. You picked the only team that didn't finish higher than anyone.
And what's crazy about it is that it still was kind of close because Jacksonville only won 1 game. Houston only won 4. If Jacksonville had a bad season instead of an abysmal season, this would have been really close to coming true.
After week 1, this looked really good.
And it's so funny because you could give Jacksonville all of the Jets wins and they still wouldn't accomplish this feat. Anyway. You
know what? I say you carry over this prediction for next year because I guarantee you'll win it. Guarantee. Corwin Heller guarantee right here.
Corwin Heller guarantees it. All right, give me yours.
Number 5, Adam Gase is fired mid-season, but the damage is already done to Sam Darnold, and he never steps up. They conveniently waited until after the season to fire Adam Gase, and Sam Darnold didn't really step up, and the whole point of that was after he gets fired, he doesn't really come back and show anything better with a new play call or a new, offensive system, this, that, whatever. Didn't really get to see that. So a solid 0 here for Corwin.
Yeah. I wish.
Seem happy about that one.
I wish that was what had happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. My next one also did not come true. It was Kirk Cousins gets COVID. We talked about this during the midseason go through of this because Kirk Cousins was like, I don't think COVID's all that serious, but I'm doing, and I think all this shit's kind of lame, but I'm doing it because they told me to. And Corwin and I were both like, you're a fucking asshole. And that means that you probably aren't following all these rules in your personal life, only doing it when people look at you. So my assumption was I treated him as a case for the NFL, assuming that we were going to get neither of us assumed at the beginning of the season that this season was going to run in completion. I figured Kirk Cousins would have been the poster child of that, should that have happened. But fortunately, this did not come true. But I still think Kirk Cousins stormed the Capitol. So.
Do we have any? That took far too long to just,
I really snuck that one in there.
Yeah. Do we have any proof he didn't?
No. And you know what? The onus of proof is on him. So
it's true.
We're going to need some receipts.
I was going to say that's how the justice system works, but I do not want to talk about the U.S. justice system right now.
I'll hit up Kirk on Parler and see what he says.
How could Julie allow this to happen? I expected more from her.
Do you like that?
You like that? Oh my God. Do you think he shouts that after sex?
I think he shouted that when he burst into the Senate chambers. Kirk Cousins got sacked so many times. He was like, I got to do some sacking myself. He sacked the Capitol.
Kirk has done nothing to us to deserve this kind of hate, but at the same time, I don't give a shit.
I think every Vikings fan would agree with this unwarranted slander.
Fuck. All right. Number 6. A player gets ejected for intentionally spitting on another player. Double points if it's Ndamukong Suh or Richie Incognito. Of all of my predictions I thought I'd get wrong, this was not one of them. I thought this one would have been hook, line, and sinker, easy layup. Some asshole's going to do something. No one ever did. Fucking dumb.
No, we did see some fines early on for coaches not wearing their masks on the sidelines. I think, fucking, what's the guy with the Raiders? Fucking
Gruden.
Yeah, John Gruden. Yeah, John Gruden got fined early on. Oh, someone else got fined early on too. Was it Tomlin? No.
I think he was. I think there was a handful of coaches that
Yeah,
were.
I was gonna say, like, it wasn't uncommon because I think a lot of the coaches were like, I'm trying to be heard and the mask is getting in the way, which I understand that a lot more than the breathing's hard kind of thing, because it will muffle your sound a little bit. But at the same time, hey, guess what? There's a pandemic. So, but yeah, nothing malicious happened in that respect. I guess Alvin Kamara. That's not malicious. It's just being shitty.
When isn't it being shitty?
Yeah. All right. My next one is Rob Gronkowski plays in under 8 games. This was born out of the idea that Gronk had or has been notoriously not healthy due to like just being like who he is. Like he is an injury prone person. It's not like he does anything stupid to get himself injured. Like he just has a body that hates him. And the fact that he sat out for 1 or 2 seasons. I forget how many.
One season.
One season? Okay. So the idea being that, like, missed time, not used to taking the hits, not a healthy player anyway, he wouldn't get to 8. He did. Rob Gronkowski played and started in all 16 games, which honestly good for him.
Yeah, I can't hold that against him.
No, I mean, like, Corwin and I will always root for healthy players over non-healthy players, even if they're people we don't particularly care for. And I don't even dislike Gronk. I just hate the fact he was good on the Patriots. But yeah, he played in all 16. So good for Gronk. But no, I get no points for this. Neither.
All right. Number 7. Leonard Fournette, Lenny, beats his 2019 receptions total and quadruples his touchdown total. For some reason, his shit's not coming up. Here it is. He had 6 touchdowns this season to go along with his 36 receptions. So he had twice as many rushing touchdowns, the same number of receiving touchdowns, and half as many receptions. So once again, I got this one wrong.
Such is life. All right. My next one is the only other one I think I'm getting right, and that is that New England finishes 3rd in the division, which is so odd to get that one right because it seems like a crapshoot with standings, but I got that one right. Buffalo obviously had an amazing season. Miami had a weird but good season, and New England had a very mixed bag season, but overall not the best. We thought they might be better because they had Belichick. They picked up Cam Newton, who we thought might be primed for a breakout. That ended up kind of never coming, but not exactly his fault. And they just never really put it together, combined with the fact that the other 2 teams in the division had a really great season. And they couldn't have gotten any lower because there was a bedrock of the AFC East holding down 4th place there. So, yeah, this one I get full points for. Fuck the Patriots. Yeah.
Fuck the Patriots. The funniest thing is you were talking about the Patriots finishing 3rd, and I was like, no, Tom Brady went to the playoffs. There's no way they finished 3rd in the division. And then it was like me like looking it up, and it's like, what? No, they did finish 3rd. How did they go? Oh. Oh. Fuck. I hate this fucking guy. And I have no reason why.
Tom Brady is not a likable man.
It's funny though, like he kind of is. Like if he wasn't this good, He would be. Like if he was just
I genuinely think even off the field, he's not a likable guy. He's a fucking MAGA person. He's obnoxious. He believes in all that weird pseudoscience that all of us hate that gets pushed on us from people we haven't talked to since high school on Facebook. Like he's so detached from reality in like all the worst ways. And he's like, I don't know. I find him to be a very abrasive person.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, my 8th prediction: the Patriots finished last in the AFC East. Quote,
oh, you sweet summer child.
On record because most of me refuses to believe this can happen. It didn't happen. Fucking Jets.
Fucking Jets, baby. We're here to ruin everybody's day. Your predictions, my fandom, all of it's on the table to get fucked by the Jets. We suck. You know what's funny is I think I now have an equivalent number of Knicks hats to Jets hats, and I've been a Jets fan far longer than I've been a Knicks fan, but we are that bad as a franchise. Amen. Like I look up my the one Jets hat I wear frequently, and I'm like, this is enough.
This is enough. I don't need to advertise this anymore.
I might get like a second or I guess a third one later at some point, but I'm not in a rush. Yeah. I'm excited to go there. There's so many fucking hats, man. I got a lot of fucking hats. Anyway, we'll get there. All right. My 9th prediction was that Chicago. Oh, we lost Corwin. Chicago cuts Mitch Trubisky. Now, they ended up benching him like 3 games into the season or something. And it seemed like it was going to go in that direction. And I think they're not picking up his 5th-year option. Oh, man, I need Corwin to help me with this. What's the current fate of Mitch Trubisky? I don't think it's good.
They
didn't pick up the option, right?
He's still on the team. He's still under contract, but he still sucks too. So,
okay, was he on in any trade rumors we saw?
No, Nick Foles was in the trade rumors.
Yeah, he was the one being rumored to maybe be traded for Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still under contract? Damn. Anyway, so no, this didn't come true. It probably should have. Honestly, I don't know what the Bears aren't going to get anything of value, and with how high of a draft pick, they might as well. Okay, so hold on. 2021.
I just fucking Googled Mitchell Trubisky, and I just need to cut in here and say the first result is a article titled "Mitchell Trubisky can salvage his career by using Jameis Winston's wisdom," and I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. All I know is that is an outrageous headline that I refuse to click on.
I didn't believe you, and I'm looking right at it. Wow. Wow. Also, I don't understand what Spot Track has for Mitch Trubisky for this year because
he's actually a free agent.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, they didn't. He has a 5th-year option. Yeah. They just didn't pick it up.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. So Mitchell Trubisky did not get cut. They opted to just kind of let this contract die, which, okay. I mean, it was a cap hit of 9.3. They would have only saved, I guess, $100,000 by cutting him, which I guess at that point isn't worth it. But no, I can't finagle any points out of this. No points for Josh.
No points for you.
None.
All right, I guess that means I'm up. That's how
you're figuring it out. It only took you 9 or 10 picks.
And it's only like we've done this, 6, 7, 8 times now. Number 9, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, wins the NFL Assistant Coach of the Year. He did not. That was Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, who, by all means, as much as I'd love to talk up my pick and say he deserved it, he was robbed. No, like Brian Daboll, he fucking killed it this year. He deserves it.
All right. I think that leaves one left for me. Yes. Aaron Donald gets traded. So this was under the assumption that the Rams continue to have a terrible year as they did last year, or at least a not great year, and the Rams needing to shed payroll, recuperate picks, and in general start something of a even mild teardown to kind of just reset a little bit. However, the Rams managed to pick themselves back up. I said they had a terrible year last year. The Rams finished 9-7. That's actually not even that bad. Anyway, Rams had a good year, made the playoffs, got fucked because they weren't really that great. And Aaron Donald got hurt. And now they're spending more money that no one knows how they have, and giving away more picks that no one realized they still possessed, in order to get better, which, man, the Rams are trying so hard to do what the Dodgers do and are so much worse at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Like, there's 2 LA teams that are out there acquiring every player they can possibly fucking imagine. And the Dodgers are going to be the most feared team in all of baseball this upcoming season, even more so than they were last year. And the Rams are a gigantic question mark.
The difference is the Dodgers have the ability to replenish talent with a farm system and use the farm system to acquire talent, where the Rams don't have a farm system because football. And
at this point, all 31 other teams are the Rams farm system. That's how this is working.
Fair. But there's this salary cap thing that's kind of a big deal.
That also apparently means nothing. Somehow. You know what? The biggest difference maker for the Rams next season, telling us to whether or not they make the playoffs or win their division, is probably going to end up being whether or not Russell Wilson is still on the team, on the Seahawks.
Which isn't... We should talk about this rumor at some point, but at the same time, there's not really enough information for us to really add anything to it other than
the Jets give the Seahawks their picks back for Jamal Adams. The Seahawks give us Russell Wilson, and then the Jets also get Deshaun Watson. Boom, 2 QB sets all day. You do Deshaun downs 1 and 2. Russ downs 3 and 4, and you never lose a game again.
Fuck off is the only response I'll warrant that.
Because the Texans are going to cut Deshaun Watson the same way they did for J.J. Watt, right? 2 guys that deserve respect, and then the Jets just have to buy him with money. Oh no, sorry, the Texans are garbage people and had cut J.J. Watt out of respect and are holding Deshaun Watson hostage because they hate him.
So hear me out.
No.
The Texans cut J.J. Watt.
Yes.
They cut Deshaun Watson. J.J. Watt wants to go play in Pittsburgh with his brothers. He signs there. Minimum deal, as you do. The Steelers trade for Deshaun Watson by sending them Sam Darnold from the Jets. And in return, the Jets take all of Deshaun Watson's salary, put it on their books so the Steelers can afford him. We send you Ben Roethlisberger and his entire contract. So the Steelers get Watt and Watson. The Texans get Sam Darnold. And the Jets get a big-ass bill and 40-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. How do you feel about that?
And a lot of good faith in the NFL.
Like 30 players to be named later.
So much good exposure.
All the PT.
Just really good
players,
exposure.
PT and else. Yes. Acronyms.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
I could see a 3-team trade where the Jets absorb. Actually, are there 3-team trades in the NFL?
There could be.
But are there?
I've never heard of one.
Because I was wondering if Brock Osweiler had one, but I don't think he technically did. I think the Browns just kind of took him and sent him away. Because I could see a situation in which if 3-team trades were a thing, the Jets give picks to Houston for Deshaun Watson, take on salary from Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers in exchange for the Steelers sending some mid-round picks to the Texans. So that way the Steelers aren't in cap hell if Ben chooses not to retire by only spending a couple of mid-round picks no one would care about on the team. The Jets would have to give a little bit less capital in exchange for just some money, and then the Texans would get more picks and then get rid of Deshaun Watson, who does not want to be there. It wouldn't be super ideal for Pittsburgh because the return there isn't quite as good. There might need to be like a low-end starter thrown in from the Texans to
give us an offensive lineman. Just throw one in there.
Yeah, it's not gonna like it fucking matters for them anyway.
Titus Howard would be a great throw-in because
Laramie
they're
Tunsil.
not. Hey, if you're selling your players for the way they've been selling them, yeah, we could probably make that work. Not that the Steelers could afford Tunsil right now, but Titus Howard on a rookie deal, playing right tackle for them, probably would move to left for us, and the Texans are pretty much giving up on him. So
yeah, sell the farm. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So we need to end the podcast so we could hop on the phone and make all of this start to happen.
Why aren't we the GMs of every team?
Boy, there's so many ways to answer it. So I'm just going to say nepotism.
The Giants should hire us because if they're willing to give Dave Gettleman complete control over a team that he has no ability to do anything productive with, they should give us a chance to ruin the team for a couple years and see how we do. Honestly, we can't be much worse than Gettleman.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be worse. I think the brain trust of Heller and Tracy would get it done.
I mean, both of us at the time said that while Saquon Barkley was an amazing running back and on the board at 3, the Giants should take a quarterback. They didn't. They took Barkley. And then both of us were like, why the fuck are they taking Daniel Jones when they took Daniel Jones? And that has worked out poorly. Neither of us would have made
I was also fighting for Dwayne Haskins, so fuck us.
But you were fighting for Dwayne Haskins in the draft that they had taken Daniel Jones, which if they had taken a quarterback in the Saquon Barkley draft, they wouldn't be in a position to take a quarterback.
It's true. Ooh. I'm going to do a deep dive here, Josh. I'm going to look up that 2018 draft where they drafted Jones.
Jones or Barkley, you mean?
Jones. Actually, I'm going to pull up both because we'll see what quarterback they would have taken, and we would be able to see who they would be able to have taken that next year. So let's see. So 2017 draft is not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for 2018. That's when Barkley was drafted. He was drafted 2nd overall behind Baker Mayfield.
Why did I think
I would have drafted fucking Josh Rosen, so I don't know if I would have had a job at this point. But the next quarterback taken was Sam Darnold. We can kind of just piece that one in there.
To answer.
Yeah, we could give him Josh Allen, who was a big guy or a big name. I think the consensus was Sam Darnold. As much as I love Rosen, as much as Matt Miller loved Josh Allen, as much as Adam Gase knew who Sam Darnold was, I think Darnold would have been the pick at 2, which in 2019, where they took Daniel Jones at 6, they could have taken Ed Oliver. They could have taken Jonah Williams at 11 went to Cincinnati. He was a left guard, left tackle, swing player that could have done both. I think that would have been an excellent pick for them if they didn't go edge rusher, which by all means they shouldn't have because build the trenches. The offensive line needed it. So,
and then they could have gotten Leonard Fournette after he had gotten cut from Jacksonville, which obviously they couldn't have predicted at the time, but that's something that happened over the course of these few years.
Even then, 2nd round pick, I don't see. No, because did they trade up at any point? Because I don't see them having a second round pick here.
I
It
don't know.
doesn't matter. They
Yeah.
could have easily grabbed a solid running back in the middle rounds.
Yeah.
That's not at all a worry. I still have 2 predictions left. If we
Oh yeah,
still
yeah.
doing
Sorry,
that.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Let's finish them up. Yeah.
Number 10, the best prediction so far. This one is a goddamn gem, and I know you're gonna love it. You have any idea of what it was?
I don't remember. No.
Tom Brady misses the playoffs.
Hey, that came super not true.
I have accumulated 1 total point so far through my 2 half points. I think I should just get taken right off the board. I'm giving myself -1 for this.
Yeah, I actually think you kind of earned that. Yeah.
I know I earned it. And then, of course, I gave myself a super secret. Number 11, Mitchell Trubisky loses starting job to a player who threw 7 touchdowns in a game, Nick Foles, because he throws 7 interceptions in a game. He didn't. He did not. It's actually, did he throw 7 interceptions all year? I can almost guarantee it. But let's see when that happened.
Yeah, the question is, did Mitch Trubisky play enough for that to happen?
Let's see. Week 1, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Week 2, 2 touchdowns. He did. But did he do it before getting benched? No, he threw 3 before getting benched. And then came back and then threw the rest. So, oh well. 0 points for Corwin.
That's okay, buddy.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. All right, let's talk about our awards predictions.
Sure.
All right. Fuck, I pulled these up. Where the hell did I put them?
I didn't pull up the winners, so I'm just gonna rely on you to do that.
Okay, I've got them, but they're not in the order that we wrote them in. So the first one I have is Offensive Rookie of the Year. I had put CD Lamb. It was actually Justin Herbert. Who did you have?
For Rookie of the Year, I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well, again, so we have gone through this several times because it feels like it's never the same. Because when we first started doing this, there was an Offensive Rookie of the Year, a Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then a Rookie of the Year.
Or we thought there was.
Right, because of fucking god damn it, Dallas, what's his fucking name?
Zeke?
Dak. No, Dak Prescott, because he had won some Rookie of the Year award when Zeke had won Offensive Rookie of the Year, or so I thought. And now I'm gonna have to look this shit up again. And we look this shit
every
up
time.
Every
single time we do this.
Okay, so in 2016, Dak won AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, and now what about Zeke Elliott? Pro Football Reference.
Oh boy.
No, nothing. Okay, so it's only offensive and defensive. Okay, gotcha. All right, so only offensive and defensive. I'm highlighting these 2 on my fucking spreadsheet so I don't forget this next year. All right. So then, to that effect, for Defensive Rookie of the Year, I had Chase Young. Who did you have?
Chase Young.
And it was Chase Young. So we both get points on this one.
That was like the easiest prediction ever.
Yeah, I know. Because I had overall Rookie of the Year, I had Joe Burrow, who also did not get any love because he also got hurt. Plus, Justin Herbert had a great year. Not to discount Justin Herbert. I
don't think we talked about the Justin Herbert versus Justin Jefferson. I can see the merit in both. Obviously, both had seasons deserving of the award. In most other years, they both would have won it, respectively. That being said, I personally would have voted for Justin Herbert. As you know, all the love I gave him in the draft process, you know, he was my top quarterback, number 1 through and through. Definitely didn't have him at like number 4, fucking some shit. But hell of a fucking year. Really just put all the doubters to sleep. Really just showed that he is a special quarterback.
Yeah, just for reference, since Corwin brought it up, Justin Herbert's line, 16 games, all of them as a starter. Sorry, 15 games, all of them as a starter. Went 6-9, 66.6% completion percent, 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, 289.1 yards per game, a quarterback rating of 98.3. Took 32 sacks. Jesus Christ.
It's honestly not that many.
I guess actually, yeah. An approximate value of 13, which for if you lack the context, is actually quite good on Pro Football Reference. By comparison, Jefferson, Jesus, the wide receiver for the Vikings, also had a great year this year. 16 games, 14 of them as a starter, 125 targets, 88 receptions, 1,400 yards even, 7 touchdowns, catch percent of 70.4, 11.2 yards per target, an approximate value of 12, which is crazy high. So great seasons from both these two guys.
Can we just reiterate the fact that the only reason Justin Herbert even got a start is because some fucking doctor stabbed
Tyrod Taylor.
My God. Tyrod Taylor in the fucking lungs.
Yeah. And he's going to see zero repercussions because that's how the NFL does this shit, which is bananas.
To be fair, I think Tyrod could have gone further and either pressed charges or filed grievance with the NFL, and he actively chose not to, understanding the circumstances. So it could have gone that way, but I think he actively chose not to.
Fucking wild. All right, next up is Offensive Player of the Year. Who'd you have?
Offensive Player of the Year, I had Christian McCaffrey. He didn't get it.
I had DeAndre Hopkins. He didn't get it either. This one went to Derrick Henry, running back from the Titans. Had himself pretty nice year and a pretty bad playoffs, but that's okay, Derrick. He had a pretty bad second game of the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. I'm shitting on him for no reason.
Where is it then?
Where's what?
If it's not here, if it's not there, where is it?
Oh, fuck off. He had over 2,000 rushing yards, which is a lot. It's many. It is many yards. If you lack context, understand that it is many.
How many guys have joined the 2,000 rush club? I know the last guy to do it was
CJ2K.
Yeah, CJ2K, Chris Johnson.
I don't remember.
AP did it before that. I think OJ did it in like 12 games.
Yeah, well, that's just OJ.
Yeah, dude. Always running from the law, running from defenders.
Running from consequences.
Did you hear the shit where like he went on like live video on like Twitter and was talking about like the impeachment trial, and was like, yeah, I had my own run-in the courtroom, or, you know, like I had my own trial.
Yeah, OJ, it was called The Trial of the Century. There was a 10-part documentary series released like last year about it.
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Well, lucky for us, Trump has small hands.
Fuck.
Come for the sports, stay for the politics banter. There will
be plenty more of that in our sister show, Juicing the Big Screen.
Yes, check it out. It releases on Tuesdays.
Around, Josh. These fucking plugs are just golden.
Yeah, this is why I keep you around. Not for the discourse, but for the plugs. You are the advertising king of podcasting.
Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago.
Who'd you have for Defensive Player of the Year, or did I ask you this already?
Save this one for the end.
Okay, we will return. That's right. We will return to this. MVP. I think we both had Pat Mahomes here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was actually Aaron Rodgers.
Forgot about the discount double check.
I hate you so much. That was good. Awful. Yeah.
Hey Josh. Discount double check.
Fuck you. Fuck your face.
You called me the advertising king, and you get upset when I bring up more advertising. Are you kidding me? I'm like Don Draper over here.
God. All right,
not
so
a great person to compare yourself to.
well, he had all those different lives and whatnot. So Pat Mahomes had himself a really tidy ass season. The problem is Aaron Rodgers had himself just a better one. We're comparing, great to phenomenal, I guess, in some way. Pat Mahomes, 15 games, all of them as a starter. Went 14-1. Jesus. Anyway, 66.3% completion percent, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, as Corwin mentioned earlier, on 6 interceptions. His 1% interception percent was the best in the NFL this year. His 316 yards per game was the best in the NFL this year. An approximate value of 17. Just a great season. Aaron Rodgers this year, 16 games, all of them as a starter, 13-3, 70.7% completion percent, highest in the NFL. 48 touchdowns, highest in the NFL. 9.1 touchdown percent, highest in the NFL. 4,300 yards, also a 1% interception percent, tying Mahomes for best in the NFL. 9.6 adjusted yards per attempt, highest in the NFL. 121.5 quarterback rating, high in the NFL, highest in the NFL. 84.3 QBR, highest in the NFL, and 8.89 adjusted net yards per pass attempt, highest in the NFL.
Good.
when you lead the NFL in 7 passing categories, you're probably going to win MVP. So, no shit. Is where we're going to land on that one. Great year from Rodgers.
Hell yeah. I'm glad he won it. He deserved it. Wish his team decided not to draft his replacement and instead got him weapons to win a Super Bowl, but we've had that conversation a couple times.
Yeah. All right. Coach of the year. Who'd you have? I forget.
I had Mike Tomlin. Didn't win it.
Right. I had Bruce Arians. So I do feel slightly vindicated because he did just win a Super Bowl. And if we're including playoffs in the voting, which all this voting, of course, takes place at the conclusion of the regular season before the playoffs, then maybe, but no, it wasn't him either. It was Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. Very much so deserved. He did a phenomenal job with that team. The only other one I have left outside of looping back to Defensive Player of the Year is Comeback Player of the Year. Is that all you have left as well?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you have for Comeback Player of the Year?
I had Aldon Smith.
All right. He didn't win it.
Nope. I actually didn't know who won it, so I didn't say anything.
I had Alex Smith, who did win it. They're going to name this award after him, I'm convinced.
I hope so.
He fucking deserves it. This was an obvious choice when it was announced that he was going to be cleared to play this season. Again, this was a locked up award, whether he played any snaps or didn't. And Alex Smith ended up actually starting for a while this year after some other Washington quarterbacks got hurt. So crazy year. Before we loop back to Defensive Player of the Year, a quick shout out for Walter Payton, Man of the Year, the most important award that the NFL gives every season to Russell Wilson. Well, they don't give it every season to Russell Wilson, but they give it every season, and this year it went to Russell Wilson. But it's a great award and honor, and it's so nice that they let you. So what happens after you win it? You get it for doing charity, which is why I really can't predict it. We're not going to sit here and say that someone's doing charity better than somebody else. That's just terrible. But one of the things that's really great that the NFL does is that after you win the award, you get a patch of Walter Payton, of the Walter Payton Award on your jersey that you wear forever until you retire. And I love that they do that. And something I really wish other leagues did, because every other league has a version of this award, a community service based award, and being able to recognize who those guys are after, years after they win the award, it's really nice. Like, I don't remember when Drew Brees won it, but seeing Drew Brees, I know he did. And part of the reason I know he did is that every time I watch a Saints game, he still has the symbol on his jersey. And that shows that I think the NFL actually in some way, performative or otherwise, gives something of a shit about that recognition. And I really wish, like MLB has the Roberto Clemente Award, which is a similar veined award. Huh?
I just said great award.
Yeah,
Roberto Clemente.
And again, it's like the best award you can win. Like the Walter Payton Award and the Roberto Clemente Award, those are the better than MVP. And it'd be cool if the MLB followed in the NFL's kind of footsteps with this and let you wear some type of recognition throughout all of your seasons, especially in baseball where you'll be playing fucking 15 years at a goddamn time. Even at non-quarterback positions like in the NFL, where your likelihood of staying around is, I don't know, 4 years tops. But anyway, so Russell Wilson won Walter Payton Man the Year award. Good on him. Let's loop it back to Defensive Player of the Year. So I'll start. I had Khalil Mack. He didn't win it. Corwin, who do you have?
I had TJ Watt.
Who
won it? He won it.
Who?
He won it.
Who?
TJ Watt. Watt.
Okay. Who actually won it though, Corwin?
Not TJ Watt. They gave it to Aaron Donald, who, listen, I'm going to talk some shit in this segment. We knew it was coming. I love Aaron Donald. He is the best defensive player in the NFL. I will always acknowledge that because I've seen him play football. The dude is an animal. Bar none, he is the best defensive player individually anywhere in the NFL. The way the award works is the player who performs best that season wins the award. I'll let you read through the stats. I know I sent the breakdown. I believe it was in the Discord. If we can pull that up real quick. I'll let you do it because I don't focus on rambling.
Yeah.
I understand that Aaron Donald was double teamed significantly more than TJ Watt. That's how it goes. You are that good at your job for so many years without other significant weapons on that defensive line, you're going to get double teamed. The Rams defensive line, pretty good. There's no one on that line who comes close to Aaron Donald. The Steelers defensive line is very good. There are players on that defensive line who come close to the talent that TJ Watt has. Cam Hayward is an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber defensive end for the Steelers. Stephon Tuitt is a Pro Bowl defensive end for the Steelers. Bud Dupree is a Pro Bowl outside linebacker for the Steelers. The guys that they have are guys that you cannot leave unblocked in single coverage consistently. You can't double team TJ Watt 60% of the time like they did with Aaron Donald because it doesn't allow coverage for the rest of that line, which you need to do. It is not TJ Watt's fault that the defense is so good that you cannot double team him 100% of the time. They play different positions. It drives me absolutely insane that TJ Watt can lead in every single major category outside of fumble recoveries, forced fumbles, and still actively give the award to Aaron Donald just because of the name recognition. You know, this isn't some honorary Oscar. This isn't some John F. Kennedy, Lifetime Achievement Award. This isn't, it was a tough race. There wasn't really anyone who ran away with it. So, we just got to give it to the guy that was deserving of it, or a guy who should have won it a year 2 years ago in the past. And, we're going to right the wrong, this, that, the other thing. It's like, no, this is a clear cut favorite that you gave to somebody else because of name recognition and a stat that is not tangible that we can base this off of. If he wasn't double teamed 64% of the time, whatever it was, if he was only double teamed 30% of the time, 20% of the time, sure, you can argue he would have had the stats to beat TJ Watt. But we cannot ever know that because it didn't happen. It's all circumstantial. And it drives me fucking nuts that you're robbing a young player of an award that he has never won, is extremely difficult to win, may never win again because of this utter bullshit, and give it to a guy who's won it twice and by all means still the best defensive player, did not earn it or deserve it this year. I'm ending my rant. I'm giving myself half a point. Bullshit.
For reference, I could not find it in any of the various ways we communicate, so I don't know how you sent it to me, but I couldn't find it. But I found it in a different means.
Do you just Google JJ?
Yeah, I did my Googles. TJ Watt versus Aaron Donald. Tackles, Watt had 53, Donald 41. Sacks, Watt had 15, Donald 13.5. Tackles for loss, Watt had 23, Donald had 12. Pressures, Watt with 55, Donald 42. QB hits, Watt 41, Donald 26. Forced fumbles, Watt had 2, Donald had 4. That's the one category Corwin mentioned earlier. Pass defenses, Watt with 7, Donald with 1. And interceptions, Watt with 1 and Donald with 0. So if you were wondering, that is what Corwin was in reference to.
Thank you.
Sorry, big man.
It happens. It's one of those things where it's like,
Fuck
you get over it.
All right. Our fucking Super Bowl winner predictions. So I had predicted a Super Bowl matchup of Baltimore and New Orleans with a New Orleans victory. Neither of those teams made the show. They both got bounced early on. New Orleans in more sad fashion than the Ravens, I think. But neither of them made it. Neither of them won. Corwin, who'd you have?
I had in the NFC Championship the Saints defeating the Cowboys. In the AFC, I had the Chiefs defeating the Steelers. And in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs beating the Saints. So what's that, like an eighth of a point? Something like that?
It's an ounce of a point. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So those are I don't know. How do you think we did compared to a standard year? Better, worse, on par?
On par.
We're not good at this.
No. We did on par. I mean,
all right.
Nobody can really be perfect at this. There's too much that happens, and that's just the way it goes. But
yeah, it's a fucking crapshoot.
On par with how we usually do.
I'll take on par. All right. So let's call it that on that then. You want to talk about the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame inductees for this year? A lot of very recognizable names.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this year, 2021, the NFL is inducting 8 additional members into its Hall of Fame. These players are guard Alan Faneca. Sure, I'm pronouncing that wrong. Nope. Coach and quarterback Tom Flores, wide receiver Calvin Johnson, safety John Lynch, quarterback Peyton Manning, contributor Bill Nunn, wide receiver Drew Pearson, and cornerback / safety Charles Woodson. So let's take these guys one at a time just to give a little bit of time to each of them, since these are some players we have varying levels of familiarity with, but the players we're familiar with, these are kind of players you and I grew up with. So let's start with Alan Faneca, or however it is you pronounce that, because
Faneca is correct.
Oh, thank God. Faneca played from 98 to 2010. Jesus Christ. That is a long time.
He was a rock star.
9-time Pro Bowls, 6-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champ, and he was a member of the All-2000s team. He played fucking 10 years with Pittsburgh, 2 years with the Jets, and finished out his career in Arizona. Corwin, do you have any recollection of Alan Faneca?
Yeah, dude was an absolute rock star for the Steelers. Was an anchor on that offensive line. Absolutely fantastic guy. Obviously, I don't have too much recollection. I was just far too young to Vividly remember him playing. I started following the Steelers in 2007 Super Bowl year. But everything I've heard of sports writers from Pittsburgh, all I've heard from family members who are Steelers fans, like he is beloved, truly beloved. So great on him for finally making it. He's been deserving of getting in for quite a while now. So glad to see him make it.
Yeah, offensive lineman Corwin and I often have difficulty discussing because it's like there's not good stats the way there is for running back stats or wide receiver stats or quarterback, any of that shit. It really is so much just what did you see and how much did you retain? Like, how does it look like he did and that type of shit. But I do have one thing that I can use to highlight what type of player Alan Faneca was. He played for 13 seasons. In those 13 seasons, he had a total of 29 penalties called against him.
Whoa. Holy shit.
For reference, Laremy Tunsil, first offensive lineman I could think of off the top of my head, has played for 5 seasons and has 50 penalties called against him.
I will say that is definitely Laremy Tunsil's biggest detriment. And it's been discussed to a degree. I'll also say that's fucking insane. Yeah. Alan Faneca, fantastic. Love it.
Like last year, 2019, Laremy Tunsil had 14 false starts. To get to 14 penalties, I mean, that's fucking 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. That's the first 8 years of Alan Faneca's career. That Laremy Tunsil had just last year, just in false starts.
All I can think of is the meme of Principal Skinner from The Simpsons, just like standing up and looking down, just going, pathetic.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, man.
Steamed hams? Yeah.
Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
You're telling me that Aurora Borealis is occurring entirely locally to your kitchen? Yes.
So
in this climate, at this time of year. Yes. Now I'll be going to watch The Simpsons in a minute.
All right, let's take on to the next one. We got Tom Flores. He was the first. If anyone watched the what beer commercial was that? Coors or some shit. It was the first Hispanic starting quarterback in the NFL. Played with the Oakland Raiders as quarterback from 1960 to 1966. He was also a member of the Buffalo Bills for 2.5 seasons, and then finished out his career in Kansas City. In that time, he was a one-time Pro Bowler, a one-time Super Bowl champ, and a one-time AFL champ. He is also now a member of the Hall of Fame. He was also a coach. Let's find his fucking coach logs.
He was elected as a coach.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to. I wanted to start with the quarterback stuff because it was first. Hey,
is that the right term? Elected to the Hall of Fame? That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other alternative phrasing I could think would be selected, but I think both work, right?
Yeah. I will allow it.
Where the fuck's his coaching shit? Why?
Well, you're looking this up. I'll just keep rambling. I feel like I need to get a desk. Just like, don't have one in the new apartment since I moved in. So just sit here on my bed every week to record, and not an issue for audio. But now that we have the camera and we're doing this on Zoom, it's like, moving around too much. It's a bad picture, bad quality, bad final product.
Yeah, fuck you, Corwin. All right, I got it.
Truth.
So, he was coach of the Raiders for 3 years from 79 to 81. Then he was the coach of the Oakland Raiders. Then the Raiders moved and he stayed the coach with the Los Angeles Raiders from 82 to 87. So overall coaching the Raiders of some kind from 79 to 87, and then finished out his career with a 3-year stint in Seattle from 92 to 94, in which the Seahawks went 2-14, 6-10, and then 6-10. So I get that. I understand why that happened. He won 2 more Super Bowls as the coach of the Oakland Raiders, winning it in 1980 and 1983, once in Oakland and once in Los Angeles. And that's Tom Flores before both Corwin and my time. So I'm not sure what it is we have to say about it. Do you have anything, Corwin?
Yeah, I mean, being the first Latino coach to be elected to the Hall of Fame is a huge deal. I'm fairly certain he was the first Latino coach of Latino descent. So that's definitely huge. Big on him. It's one of those things where he was a guy who may have been on the bubble to an extent, but
first minority head coach of any kind.
Yeah, that's just such a huge feat, such a huge breakthrough that no doubt in my mind, he's deserving. So all hands. That idiom just doesn't make any fucking sense. So good on Tom Flores.
He's also got to be the only guy to win a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls with the same team in different cities. Like, there's no way that happens a lot. Winning with the Oakland Raiders and the Los Angeles Raiders.
I have a lot of random facts stored in my brain. I don't have that one.
Like, because, did anybody win with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens when they changed cities?
The NFL views that
because the Browns didn't win any Super Bowls before they became the Ravens. So no, that didn't happen.
And the NFL doesn't view that as the same franchise, which is dumb. But
right.
I don't know.
The Cardinals have never won the Super Bowl, so all their moves don't matter.
And teams like, who else would there be? Like the Oilers. That's a new franchise.
That also never won the Super Bowl.
What other teams moved? St. Louis, the Rams? I don't think so.
They won as the Rams in 2000, but they still haven't
won since.
Yeah, and no one from the 2000 Rams is still playing or coaching on the Rams.
I don't know. I don't know if the Rams won before they moved to St. Louis, and I doubt it would be the same coach.
Yeah,
I don't think so. No, they definitely didn't. So, yeah, I don't know.
Go Tom Flores. All right. Next guy that was mentioned was wide receiver Megatron Calvin fucking Johnson, which is still a little uncomfortable to think that Calvin Johnson is not still active in the NFL. All that debacle around his retirement feels like it just happened, and I'm very upset by the fact he's already been retired long enough to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. But fuck, he deserves it. 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, a member of the All 2010s team. Calvin Johnson played for 9 seasons. Did I count that right? I'm going to assume I did.
It doesn't seem like that many. Damn.
Right? Because he played from 22 to 30, and you'll see wide receivers play beyond 30 these days, but it doesn't. All of his seasons were played with Detroit. He retires with 731 receptions on 1,312 targets, 11,619 yards, 83 touchdowns, a yards per game of 86.1, a catch percent lifetime of 55.7, 8.9 yards per target. He at one point one point in his career led the league in receptions, at 2 different points leading in yards and yards per game, and at one other point leading in touchdowns. It's also worth noting that Calvin Johnson played on some of the worst teams in the NFL, and that makes this stat line so much more. This is a stat line that, if you didn't see Calvin Johnson play, you're not going to appreciate it. Not necessarily because the stats aren't going to say it, but because it's just tough to picture how fucking bad these teams were. I mean, the year in which he led all of the NFL in touchdowns was 2008. The Lions' defeated season when they went 0-16. It cannot be overstated how bad these teams were that he was playing on.
And he's the kind of guy where you look at his stats, and he had, incredible stat lines throughout his career. But if you just look at, his football reference page and you don't watch the tape of him playing, like if you don't watch highlights, if you don't watch replays, it doesn't come across how dominating of a player he was and how he changed football. Like, he doesn't have the raw stat lines. He doesn't have the raw accumulated stats throughout his career to be a first ballot Hall of Famer at wide receiver. That being said, you watch him play once and you throw up your arms just like, how is this guy not in the Hall of Fame while he's actively playing? So, love Calvin Johnson. He was an absolute joy to watch. Wish he played for a better team.
I'm sure he thinks much the same. But at the same time, I also know he's probably too nice of a guy to have said that.
Do you think he'll pull out a Gronk and come back and sign with the Rams?
There'd be less
like
of a
6 years after he retired.
I was gonna say it'd be
years.
less of a Gronk thing and more of a Mario Lemieux thing. Make the Hall of Fame and then unretire.
Yeah. The opposite of Jaromir Jagr. Play until you're 50 and be ineligible to be even elected to the Hall of Fame.
Gordie Howe must have done that too, because he played in the 90s for like a little bit.
I think they gave him an exemption. I think they voted him in while he was active.
No, I don't think that's true.
Look up the year he was elected.
All right, we're doing it. Gordie
Howe hat trick.
The Gordie Howe. You know how you gotta do a thing a whole bunch of fucking times for them to name a thing after you.
Mm-hmm. And it's got to be real weird and unique.
Yeah. Fucking.
I don't even
Gordie
think
Howe has
Gordie
two
Howe is
honorary doctorates. That's really funny.
Is Gordie Howe even like the leader in Gordie Howe hat tricks?
That is a great question. I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Hold on.
Holding. Nice.
Hold on.
Nice. What's going on? What are we seeing here?
It looks like Corwin is right.
Damn right, motherfucker. I know what's up.
Gordie Howe was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1972, which is when okay. So in 71, he left, was his last season with Detroit in the NHL. Then he went to go play.
WHL?
He went to the WHA. He went to play with the Houston Aeros in the WHA, which, what does that stand for? World Hockey Association, I think. Yeah, World Hockey Association. So he played with the Houston Aeros for 4 seasons from 73 to 77, but got elected to the Hall of Fame in 72. So there was a gap year. Actually, sorry, there was a 3-year gap. So he got elected to the Hall of Fame the year after he retired, which is also nuts. Then he unretired to play in the WHA for 6 seasons, because then after that, he played with the New England Whalers in the WHA from 77 to 79. And then after that, he rejoined the NHL. And in 79 to 1980, he played with the Hartford Whalers of the NHL. Jesus.
With his son.
Ridiculous. Absolutely
Gordie Howe,
ridiculous.
wild career.
I know. My God.
Do you think when Gordie Howe got a Gordie Howe hat trick, he just called it a hat trick? Hey guys, I got a hat trick tonight.
No, you see, if I was Gordie Howe and I got a Gordie Howe hat trick, I would say I got my own fucking hat trick.
I think I'd be the guy in the locker room, like asking these questions, joking around, and he'd just punch me in the face.
Gordie Howe also had.
He's the nicest guy, but I just imagine he'd punch me in the face for even.
I mean, he's
asking.
Mr. fucking Hockey. He also had an appearance with the Detroit Vipers of the IHL in 1997. Played in 1 game. He was 69 years old.
Nice.
Oh, Gordie Howe. Jesus Christ. That's so fucking old. Oh my God.
He also made an appearance in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He played Cameron.
Yeah, little known fact. Wow, that's too fucking wild, man. That's too fucking wild. All right. Anyway, that's not what we were talking about. Next up, Hall of Fame, John Lynch. He was a 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and a 1-time Superb Owl champ. He played with the Tampa Bay Buccaroos from 1993 to 2003, and then finished his career at the 4-year stint in Denver. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have like no recollection of John Lynch, the player. Corwin, do you have any recollection of John Lynch, the player?
I do. He was a pretty spectacular safety. He was
Hall of Fame player.
He was, yeah. Granted, part of his Hall of Fame induction was as a player. Part of it is as a GM. I will say, just his talent at safety alone, just his playing ability, is definitely worthy of being selected for the Hall of Fame. He was a bullet just flying across the secondary, and obviously I was never alive to actually actively see him play, but the highlights I've seen, the interviews I've seen about him, he was a pretty spectacular player.
I mean, Corwin, I think you were alive to see him play since most of his career took place after you were born.
Listen here, fucker.
Yeah, I know.
No comment.
Yeah. All right. Let's turn to one of the other lesser known players on this list. Peyton Manning.
Who?
Yep. Her?
Her?
Peyton Manning, 14-time Pro Bowl, 7-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 5-time MVP, made it member of the All 2000s team, 2004 AP Offensive Player of the Year, 2005 Walter Payton Man of the Year, 2013 AP Offensive Player of the Year, 2003 Bert Bell Award, 2004 Bert Bell Award, 2012 AP Comeback Player of the Year, and 2013 Bert Bell Award. I have no idea what the fuck the Bert Bell Award is, but he won it several times. Let's find out what the Bert Bell Award is. Do you know what this is?
Never heard of it. Or at least no recollection of hearing it.
The Bert Bell Award is presented by the Maxwell Football Club to the Player of the Year in the National Football League. The award is named in honor of Bert Bell, Commissioner of the NFL and founder of the Maxwell Club.
I know the Maxwell Club. I've never heard of the Bert Bell Award.
Neither have I. Apparently, the current holder is Lamar Jackson, so they're still giving this award presently. But yeah, I have never heard of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
Peyton Manning's career is ludicrous and insane, and I love it. He retires with 6,129 completions on 9,380 attempts. A quarterback record, by the way, of 186 to 79. Fuck. That's so good. 71,940 yards, 539 touchdowns, 251 interceptions. He had a yards per game of 270.5, a career quarterback rating of 96.5. He had various times in his career led the entire NFL in completions, attempts, completion percent, yards, touchdowns, touchdown percent, interceptions only once his rookie year. And what's funny is he led the league in interceptions, but not interception percent, which means someone out there done really fucked up.
Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, I
don't know that. I'm just making that assumption.
Oh my God, hold on. Now I have to look. That would be the most Vinny Testaverde thing ever. Please tell me that's true. I need that guess to be right. Okay, that's team offense, passing offense. Show me players. Show me players.
Yeah, that's the problem with Football Reference. It's hard finding those individual player stats just out of nowhere.
Hold on. No, we're doing player stats. Standard
Here
passing.
we go. Satellite radio time to get with the boom, boom.
All right. Interception percent. It was Ryan Leaf.
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
6.1. Hold on. In 98, Ryan Leaf started 9 games, went 3-6, threw 2 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Hey, 6.1% interception percent, 0.8 touchdown percent.
Remember when people thought he should get drafted ahead of Peyton Manning?
Oh my God, that's so fucking bad. Holy shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
Where are you, Vinny? Because now Vinny Testaverde, a 1.7 touchdown percent, 4th best in the NFL that year.
Fuck. What about interception percent?
That's what I just said.
You said touchdown percent.
I meant to say interception percent.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, Vinny that year went 5-5 as a quarterback, 10 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So not great, but not Ryan Leaf.
Josh, I know you do far more than your fair share of all of.
Oh, sorry, that was Rich Gannon. 29 for Vinny Testaverde. It was 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. 29. That's way better. Okay, sorry about that, folks. What did you say, Corwin?
I know you already do pretty much all of the heavy lifting with scheduling, appearances and things like that with the podcast, getting all these interviews set up. Can we reach out to Vinny Testaverde, please?
You think Vinny has a Twitter?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have one of my Penn State jerseys is the guy that picked him off in the Fiesta Bowl to cost them the national championship. So I'll definitely wear that when we bring him on. That'll be fun.
Vinny Testaverde does not have a Twitter.
He has a son who does.
Who's that son?
I forget the kid's name, but it's
Vinny
not Vinny Testaverde Jr. No. Yeah,
unfortunately, I'm not seeing a Vinny. I don't see one on Instagram either. Damn. I'll track him down. I'll see. I'll try his booking agent. Offer him 5 whole DeLoreans.
It is Vinny Testaverde Jr.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
He goes by Vincent.
Fuck that Mitchell Trubisky bullshit. Anywho. Hold on. Let's have a quick side-by-side comparison between Brady's stats and Manning's stats. Okay. Just because Manning's stats is just so full of bold numbers, which on the various reference pages for Sports Reference indicate that you led the league in something. And Brady's has some, but man, not nearly as many.
He's not as good.
So let's see. Brady never led in completions. Manning did 4 times. Brady led in attempts once, which doesn't really matter. And Manning led that 3 times, but again, stats that doesn't matter. Completion percent, Brady led once, Manning led twice. Yards, Brady led 3 times, Manning led 3 times. Touchdowns, Brady led 4 times, Manning led 4 times. Touchdown percent, Brady led twice, Manning led once. Brady never led in interceptions quantity, which Manning did. Brady also led in lowest interception percent 4 times, which Manning never did once. Longest touchdown, who gives a shit about that? Brady led in yards per attempt once. Manning led it once. Brady led in at adjusted yards per attempt twice. Manning led in it once. Brady never led in yards per completion. Manning did that once. Brady led in yards per game twice. Manning led it twice. Brady led in quarterback rating twice. Manning led it 3 times. Brady led in QBR twice. Manning led that 4 times. Brady led in net yards per attempt once. Manning led that 4 times. And Brady led in adjusted net yards per attempt twice. Manning led that 4 times. Yeah. Looks like, yeah. And Brady led in approximate value twice, as did Manning. Interesting. Where do you side on this debate?
I've always wanted to say Peyton Manning. I think on the field, he was a better quarterback. Looking at it now, there's no way you could say anyone but Tom Brady. I mean, the guy won 7 Super Bowls. I know it's not like the end all be all stat. It's a team stat, not an individual award, but you don't do that without being the best. And, if it was closer, Peyton Manning won 2, went to 3. That doesn't stand up to going to 10 and winning 7. Like, that's just too significant. So it's got to be Tom Brady in my book, as much as it pains me to say that.
I always have such a hard time with it because no one thinks Yogi Berra is the greatest baseball player of all time.
Even though he won like 10 of them.
He has 13 World Series rings, 10 as a player, and then 3 as a coach / manager.
A little different though.
No one thinks Yogi Berra is the greatest catcher of all time. Right. Let alone baseball player.
I will definitely argue though, the impact a catcher has on a baseball team is a lot less than the impact a quarterback does on a football team.
I get it. And I'm not trying to say these are definitive arguments. My other thing is, who do you think is the greater pitcher, Sandy Koufax or Clayton Kershaw?
Sandy Koufax.
Well, Sandy Koufax didn't play very long. Clayton Kershaw's career is significantly longer, and Clayton Kershaw is going to end his career with a lot more WAR than Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax is what, 45 WAR? He didn't play for very long. No idea. Hold on, I have to look that up. I can't be slandering fellow Jew Sandy Koufax here on the pod.
Well, Sandy Koufax is in the Hall of Fame, and Clayton Kershaw isn't.
Because he's still
Manning's
active.
In the Hall of Fame, and Tom Brady isn't. So
fair.
There we go.
Sandy Koufax 48.9 WAR.
Kershaw has more than that.
Yeah, I'm almost certain of it, but I'm going to pull up his stats page just to see. 69.6. Yeah, and he ain't even done yet. But I think there's an argument to be made. I'm not sure how much I want to argue it, but I think there's an argument to be made that Sandy Koufax's peak, which is what got him into the Hall of Fame, is so comically high, it might surpass Kershaw's peak. And if you want to ask who's the better, what I'm trying to get at is, I will forever think that Peyton Manning was a better on-the-field quarterback than Tom Brady, having gotten the chance to watch both of them play very significant number of football minutes. But fuck, man, how do you look at Tom Brady's success as a player over the just sheer quantity of years that he did it and discount it? And I 2 years ago, I'd have solidly argued Peyton Manning, which I have many times, and not given Tom Brady any credit in the conversation, which has now changed to where I'm a little bit more split. But I don't know, man. It also helps that I'm a huge Tom Brady hater. So,
well, as is everyone else who has ever lived through his reign of terror.
Yeah, every AFC East fan.
Who's worse, Tom Brady or Joffrey Baratheon?
Brady, because Baratheon couldn't vote.
Fair. They didn't vote, but
oh man. Anyway, Clayton Kershaw, Jesus Christ. Peyton Manning, it was known he was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer since pre-neck injury when he was still on the Colts.
It's like 2004.
Well, basically. But the 2011 season that he missed. Yeah, I mean, he holds the touchdown record in his 2013 campaign with 55. Fucking nuts. Yeah, this is a no fucking brainer. All right, that brings us to the next guy, contributor Bill Nunn. I'm not sure I actually know who Bill Nunn is.
He was a longtime scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the guy behind that 1970 draft class where the Steelers drafted 4 and signed 1 free agent who all became Hall of Famers.
Oh, wow.
The Steelers war room is named after him. Not many scouts make it to the Hall of Fame. Bill Nunn is absolutely deserving of that. All-time great.
Okay. So I looked up Bill Nunn, and apparently that is also the name of the actor who played Radio Raheem in Do the Right Thing. And I had a moment where I was like, wait, that guy signed all these Hall of Famers, and you know what? Bill Nunn from Do the Right Thing is also from Pittsburgh.
No way, that's funny.
So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait.
No, very different guy.
Oh my God. That'd be fucking a story, though.
If you look up a picture of Bill Nunn, it, looks very different.
I'm choosing to live in my reality because wow, is it fun here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's just a blast. Wow. All right. That brings us to the next guy, Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson, it was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champ, and a part of the all 1970s team. He was a wide receiver. He played his entire career as 11 seasons with Dallas. He led the league in yards once and yards per game once. He finished his career with 489 receptions. I don't see targets. This might be pre-targets as a stat. So 489 receptions, 7,822 yards, 48 touchdowns. He also had 189 rushing yards with 0 rushing touchdowns. Fucking scrub. But yeah, it's part of the Dallas dynasty, I would assume. He has 1 touchdown ring in there from 1977. He also has some 7 pass attempts. Hold on. So on 7 pass attempts, he has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But on 21 rush attempts, he has 0 touchdowns. He has a better touchdown percent passing than rushing. And that is a goofy stat.
You're not wrong. That is quite goofy. That's like the Goofy movie levels of goofy.
It's an extremely goofy movie. Levels of goofy.
I'd love Us.
A sequel.
I'd fucking love Us. Which is better in your mind?
Oh, I mean, they're both classics. Probably an extremely
like
goofy
one.
movie.
Which is the one where Max goes to college?
Fuck. I don't know.
Whichever that one is the better one.
Fair.
All right. Now what?
Oh, well, there's one player left. I don't know if you had anything to say about our man, Drew Pearson.
Who? Oh, yeah. No, do not know who that is.
1970s wide receiver, so not.
Oh,
exactly
yeah. Wow.
here.
Okay. Of course. I know him well.
All right. Last guy then. We know him well. Charles Woodson.
Who?
He was a member. He was fucking, God damn it, 9-time Pro Bowl winner, 4-time All-Pro, Pro Bowl winner, Pro Bowl selected. I don't know. 1-time Super Bowl champ, a member of the All 2000s team, 1998 AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, and 2009 AP Defensive Player of the Year. 11 years apart for those honors. He played 18 seasons in the NFL, 11 of them with Oakland, and then 7 of them with Green Bay in the middle. He played with Oakland from 98 to 2005, Green Bay from 06 to 2012, and then finished out his career back in Oakland for 2013 through 15. He finished his career with 65 interceptions, leading in that category twice, and 11 touchdowns, leading in that category once with 3 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in 2009 in what is a stupid fucking campaign. God damn. 33 forced fumbles, 18 fumble recoveries, 2 more touchdowns on those fumbles. Jesus Christ. When they started tracking quarterback hits, he eventually ended up with 21 of them, but he had been doing this pre the tracking of that stat. And when they started tracking tackles for loss, he ended up accumulating 54 of them, but he also started doing that before they started tracking that stat. He also got 20 sacks over the course of his career. Damn. Charles fucking Woodson. God damn.
I have nothing to add to this because Charles Woodson is like the Peyton Manning of defensive backs. So he's just one of those players where it's like I have nothing to add because we all know who he is as a player. We all have seen him play. We've all seen the extent of what he's done. And, dude won a Heisman Trophy as a defensive player. Enough said.
What do you think?
Different league.
What do you think is more shocking, that he got 3 touchdowns on 9 interceptions in 1 year, or the fact that over the course of his entire career, he had 90 punt returns and 5 kick returns and never scored a touchdown on those returns?
I don't think it's that crazy just because of how difficult that is and how, it's something that's really, nice to see, or it's like a really great feat to see. And there's some guys who are just naturally good at it. But, if you're an actual, defensive player who, just fits into that role, it shouldn't be expected. And even though, this is a Hall of Fame discussion, we shouldn't be talking about like what should be expected from like an average player. I don't think it's a detriment to him at all. You see guys like Devin Hester, who's scored like a dozen, and that was his entire role in the NFL and what makes him a Hall of Fame player. So no, I won't hold it against him.
No, I mean it more like it's surprising, not surprising, because again, no one should expect ever getting touchdowns on those returns, even though that's kind of the goal. But it's like you have the talent to score 3 touchdowns on interception, and when you get interception, even as a strong safety, you're probably not getting them, like as downfield as like a go route cornerback, or the cornerback who covers go routes, I should say. You still have to like go through the entire offense ish to get through for a touchdown on an interception, which is relatively similar in quantity of players. You may well have to get through on a return, but he never broke through in the return part. So it's like you have the skill in this one, which I guess just goes to show, hey, there are different positions. They have different skill sets. But it's interesting, like, you have the ability to like, finagle your way through all the players in one phase and not the other. But maybe that's just a case for why Devin Hester is so good at what he did.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. He also has wait, I just lost it. Oh no, he doesn't have any receiving touchdowns. I thought he did. Sorry, folks. He had 2 receptions, one in 99 and one in 2000 as like wide receivers, I guess, which is hilarious, but no touchdowns. Oh, well. All right. So that's all the players for the NFL. Man, we've been going for a while. I don't know how long it's been. Do you?
Like 2 hours.
What?
Jesus.
So we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
There's still more to talk about that we haven't gotten to. JJ Watt got cut by the Texans because he asked for it. And then that means we have to figure out what his next role is and why or why not it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, there's other things, but I guess we'll get to those in due time. Anything else for today before we roll out of here, Corwin?
No, I don't think there's anything that we can talk about that would dignify extending this podcast any further than we already have.
All right. Well, if you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And if you know Vinny Testaverde, you find him and you let him know we want him.
We do.
If you know where to find one Mr. Vinny Testaverde Sr., apparently, tell him we're looking for him.
Get us Vinny.
We need Mr. Testaverde. But anyway, that's the show for this week. We will, I guess we'll be back at it later on. So until Thursday, y'all have a good one.
Bye.